The best book ever written. Well, nearly ever. Well, it could be if we could finish it. By Matthew Shalvey. I'm hoping you can help us. We need someone really clever to help us make this little book the best book written ever. Reviews are not so good, they say. It's the final word they miss. If only they could get that right, this book could be quite famous. Let's go back to the start where this story first began. My dad and I sat down one day and agreed to make a plan. We searched for inspiration for something not been done before, inspired by something we might have heard or something that we saw. We could be famed inventors, be the first one to create a shiny spinning gadget. Now wouldn't that be great? Compose a song to top the charts or bake a fancy cake. We're sure we'll think of something that we could build or make. We thought about it for some time, but good ideas were few. Turns out it's not quite that easy to think up something new. We searched online, talked to our friends, asked our family what to do. We had just about given up when we had our big breakthrough. Grandma said, "Why don't you both go to the library for a look?" It was there we found our great idea. We were going to write a book. We knew we had a winner, of that there was no doubt. All we had to work out now was what to write about. Fact or fiction, an adventure story, a suspense or sneaky crime. The first thing that we both agreed, our story had to rhyme. We'd start at the beginning with a plot that's craftily penned, and in the final chapter we'll put a twist before the end. Let's write about a dog, Dad said, who did very clever tricks. With a TV show of its own, it could eat with long chopsticks. And for the grand finale, juggling a ball, a bat and shoe, our skillful dog on just one leg would finish with a
poo!
Oh, you can't say that. That word won't do. This book is to be read by children just like you. Now let's continue on with the story. We could not find a word that worked that would fit into our story, so we thought maybe another topic from a different category. What about an agile legend with a most courageous hero, where the chance of final victory was very close to zero? I proposed an epic quest to right an ancient wrong. 7 books with twists and turns, each one 1,000 pages long. It would be an instant hit with reviews of really groovy. Hollywood at our front door, wanting to make the movie. The monsters were defeated, not one had breached the keep. The plan to feed them hot potatoes had put them all to sleep. With the castle finally safe, our hero stands upon the wall for all to see. Shouting to the crowd below, he yells, "I'll now do the biggest."
Whee!
That's not what this book is about. Again we found we could not find a fitting way to end our tale, so back once more to the start, this time determined not to fail. Let's do an action-filled adventure that begins in outer space, with a large and fiery rock heading right for our lovely place. The Earth's in dire danger. Our last resort's a girl called Janet. A young lady who loves eating cakes is going to save our planet. With her mouth full of donuts, she said, "Don't worry about that comet." Part 1 ends as she reveals how she's going to
vomit.
That is a word we'll most certainly be leaving out. Oh no, not again. Writer's block gets us once more. Our heads have started hurting, our hands are getting sore. But we will not stop, will not give in, we've a story yet to tell. Here's some others that we wrote that did not work out quite so well. The muddy creature was approaching. As it moved, it made a slurp. Sam, though, was not scared at all, as she gave a mighty
burp.
I don't think we'll be using that word in our story. They called the new king Kevin, which his mother thought was silly. The jester in the court yelled out, "How about we call him
Willie?"
What did you say? The mayor said, "To surprise you, as we didn't want to spoil it, we put your reward behind that door and placed it in the
toilet."
Excuse me. With the gemstones safe inside, the box was sealed with a secret knot. Anyone who now tried opening it would find it full of magic
snot.
No, that word is no good. And with that, the crime was solved, for between his fingers and his thumb, the detective held the vital clue, which was a picture of a
bum.
Well, I never. Dad and I decided that we'd finally had enough. Trying to write the world's best book was turning out to be quite tough. And while somewhat disappointed that a book was not for us, I jumped up and said, "Let's do a show, about a travelling circus. This time it would be different. We'd have the end right at the start. As the curtains lifted up, we'd bow and give a noisy